What do you think is the core message that you want to deliver to the black youth?
My core message is liberation through unity. My core message is, as Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois said once, who was a Pan-Africanist, although he was an enemy of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, Du Bois said, if black people put half as much time into building for ourselves that we do arguing with the government, we'd be a lot further along than where we are now. Take reparations. I support reparations. It was the Pan-Africanist movement that gave birth to reparations. And we are entitled to it, and we should fight for it, and we will get it. But while we're waiting for that, or while we're fighting for that, we are a $2 trillion people, you know. We are the 10th richest economy on earth, you know. You do know we spend $2 billion on Jordans and $4 billion on liquor every year, you know. Almost $1 billion on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork, financing our own cancer. My point is, fight the system for what they owe us, but hold yourself accountable for what you have that you're not using to advance your community. That is a fundamental Pan-Africanist and a Garvey critique of the black experience in America. We could be doing more with what we have, and we're not. All these schools closed down. Why we ain't buying them and opening up our own schools? Why we don't have our own hospitals, right? When that COVID and they killed off all our elders with the COVID, where the black hospitals at? We owned and operated more than 500 black hospitals in America. 500 in 400 years. That's more than a hospital a year. We down to maybe a dozen now. You see what I'm saying? Wow. So yes, fight the government for what we need. You got to fight them because they're racist and they're oppressive and they're always trying to marginalize us. But come on, y'all. You mean to tell me we shouldn't have more banks of our own? More hospitals of our own? More supermarkets of our own? More schools of our own? Why y'all so worried about Dr. Umar's school? You build one. That's only one. We need hundreds of them. Where yours at? And I really believe that slavery stole from us our natural God-given desire to control our destiny. We are not stingy about power. We are not selfish about control. Every other community is. And I think a part of that stems from the religious indoctrination that has made the American African people feel like they have to love everybody as much as they love themselves. When you love everybody as much as you love yourself, you're never a priority, not even for yourself. So we can't catch up unless we get undivided attention. Look at our professional organizations. Congressional Black Caucus, they for everybody, not just black people. They rewrote their mission statement a few years ago to reflect we're for everybody, not just blacks. NAACP, we're for everybody, not just blacks. Urban League, we're for everybody, not just blacks. The fraternities and sororities, the Divine Nine, I love them, but they're for everybody, not just for blacks. What organization has an undivided focus on the liberation and salvation and emancipation of African people in this country? You can hardly find them. And a big part of that is so many of our organizations are financed by white philanthropy. If they're funding you, you can't be pro-black.
Can never be greater.
You can't, because we are not popular in this country. So if you're taking money from anybody talking about I'm going to use it to help black people, you're going to run into a brick wall. You cannot do that. That's why we have to finance ourselves. There was a book written. I have it. I haven't completed reading it, and it's called The Revolution Will Not Be Financed. The book is talking about why we haven't made more progress in America because we keep looking for somebody else to finance the movement.
Right.
The government didn't finance King. The government didn't finance the Panthers. They didn't finance Black Liberation Army. They didn't finance the Nation. They didn't finance Garvey. None of the great movements was financed by white people. So how are you expecting to get free with the same chain that enslaves you?
So you're saying it's a lack of unification versus a gatekeeping or blackballing situation?
No, you got gatekeeping.
Okay.
But that gatekeeping could not be as successful as it is if we had the unity.
I see.
The unity is the issue. And the reason we have such trouble unifying is, number one, most of us identify with religion more than race. In fact, we're the only people in America who identify with religion more than race, because the Arabs will be Muslim, but they Arab first.
Right.
When I was in China, they had Muslims in China, they had Jehovah's Witnesses in China, but they were all about the best interests of Chinese people. Religion never stopped them from working together. With us, the religion will block us. You're not saved, you're not born again Christian, I can't work with you. I've had people say that to me. You are not a Christian, so I can't work. Muslims, right? You're not a Muslim, you ain't take your Shahada, we can't work with you. I was at a meeting one time in Philadelphia at the Garvey House, the UNIA. This is years ago. And one of the leaders of the Islamic community was there from Philadelphia. I believe he's an ancestor now. Rest in peace. Good guy. But we're sitting in the house of Garvey, and do you know what he told us? This was one of the leaders of the Muslim community, Sunni Orthodox Islamic community. Good guy. Nothing negative to say about him.
Okay.
But he hurt my heart when he said this. He turned to the young people. It was a meeting with students from Temple University. We wanted to do something to stop the violence. He said, my religion, this is a black man, my religion does not allow me to be a part of anything that is based on race and excludes any other group from participation. I could have cried. In other words, do you know what you're telling me? Your religion doesn't allow you to prioritize your people's struggle. Your religion don't allow you to work with your people in private to uplift themselves. Everything you do got to be colorblind or you can't be a part of it. I don't see that with Arabs, even if they Muslim. I don't see it with Caucasians, even if they Muslim. I don't see it with Asians, even if they Muslims. So why does it have to be that way with you? Because religion brainwashed us into being colorblind.
But isn't that like the quote unquote perfect world where we all get along and we all share the same opportunity and hopefully?
If you don't understand white supremacy, it's very easy to fall for that. But when you understand white supremacy, you will understand why that can never happen. Remember, biochemically, I understand why white people can't stand us. Because I can reproduce you out of existence. You see that? I understand segregation for white people. If I let you move amongst me and reproduce with my women, you will kill us off. There will be no more white folks.
Literally, yeah.
Because we are genetically recessive. So I understood the racism, but I won't condone the tactics that they employed in order to protect themselves. The lynchings, the killings, the beatings, the
indoctrination,
denial of opportunity. That's unacceptable. I understand you want to keep yourself to yourself. Because you see, the white man can only reproduce with a white woman. He can't reproduce with no other woman.
And the definition of white is extremely narrow.
Exactly.
Because first, it's like anybody from, like Italians are considered Latin. Like if you look at the sentence, the census, they're not considered European white. Like the definition of European white is very narrow. It's basically anybody west of Italy, and it stops at England.
right?
Because if you're from Italy, Spain, any of those countries, you're not.
I don't think they pieced them out though. They could have changed it. But when Obama was president and they redid the categories, when they added the mixed race and the multiracial, and I need to look at it because they could have changed it since then, but they did lump all the Caucasian groups together. It was only with the Latino you had to specify if it was black or white.
Right. But the concept is that they moved the goalpost because of what you're saying.
Well, I would say they moved the goalpost, but I would say they wouldn't do it recently, though. In other words, if we go back to 1940, that's when they decided to let Italians, Jews, and Irish be white. Prior to 1940, they were not considered white people. And then they absolved them into the white superstructure to keep their numbers up.
Right. Which is the point.
Right. Because even Arabs are considered Caucasian for purposes of the U.S. Census. As much as they talk about the war on terror, the Arab is a white man for purposes of the U.S. Census.
Wow.
Yeah.
The revolution will not be financed. Right.
The revolution will not be financed.
This is a book.
And black people need to get that through their heads. It will be financed by yourself. We keep looking for money from outside sources. Look at what we spend on clothes, fashion, vacations, cable television, white restaurants. We buy 3 times the amount of Mercedes Benzes as Caucasians and have less than 1/3 of their wealth. What are you doing? What are you doing buying assets that depreciate with time? Come on now.
I gotta go take my Maybach back.
We have gotten so drunk with European materialism that we have substituted it for genuine freedom. In other words, freedom for a lot of us is the ability to shop, spend, buy, party. You follow me?
Eat good.
That's free. Eat good. That's freedom. It ain't about control of institutions. It ain't about control of policies. It ain't about control of systems. It's about pleasure. We have reduced freedom to pleasure, and we have allowed the white man to brainwash us into thinking happiness equates with how much you earn and how much you own. Because guess what? If you don't equate happiness with how much you earn and how much you own, capitalism can exploit you.
Back to capitalism. Yeah.
If your definition of happiness has nothing to do with how you look and how you drive, capitalism can't use you. Because remember, under capitalism, you're only useful if you do one of 2 things. You shop or you work. You follow me? We exploit your labor on the job, or we exploit the paycheck you get from your job. This is why they killed off so many elders during COVID. Elders are useless in capitalism. Why? They don't work no more, and they don't need to buy much.
Right.
So the white man is looking at the elders like, we got all these old people. We can't make them work, and we can't make them buy anything, which means we have to take care of them, kill them off. That's why Italy had the highest COVID mortality rate, because Italy is home to the oldest European population in Europe. So that was a test run. They used Italy to study the COVID to make sure it would work. They don't want to be paying for Social Security for all them elders, so they wipe them out. And they're going to hit them with another wave of it. They don't want no elders for no Social Security because they don't plan on paying no more Social Security. From a purely capitalist perspective, old people are a burden.
And just like that, we're banned from YouTube. The reason why I re-brought up that book is because a guest of ours, Charleston White, mentioned that book to us.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
And when he was speaking, he made a very controversial statement. He stated that in order for black people to get better again, they would have to go through slavery.
No.
He said black people were strongest when they came out of slavery.
So it's the only time they work together.
I would say, well, to your point of what you just said, necessity is the mother of invention. There may have never been a Black Wall Street in Tulsa, or a Black Wall Street in Rosewood, Florida, or a Black Wall Street in Charleston, North Carolina, or Charleston, South Carolina, or Wilmington, North Carolina. There may have never been a Black Wall Street if white people allowed us to participate in their society. Necessity, the mother of invention. You couldn't go to their schools. You had to make your own.
Had to figure out.
You follow me? You couldn't work at their businesses. You had to make your own.
Right.
So would we have created these great black communities if white people never segregated us? I don't know if we would have.
Right. I mean, to Charleston's point, what I think he was getting at was that in the antebellum period, right after slavery, that generation was extremely prosperous. And that's where the Black Wall Street and the Rosewoods and all that came from. And the reaction was the Jim Crow laws, which led to segregation and so on and so forth.
But again, we were so focused after slavery because we understood white supremacy.
Right.
Right? So number one, you had the consciousness. And number two, you had the work ethic, right? You didn't have all the schisms and isms you got amongst us now. There was no stratification of oppression. Everybody was broke. Everybody could be hung by the Klan. Everybody was unemployed. Everybody's children need to be taught how to read. You follow me?
Right.
Today we have stratification of oppression. You got upper middle class blacks, you got middle class blacks, you got millionaire blacks, you got billionaire blacks, right? So if the white man's saying, we about to do something to the 5 of them brothers in that room, he might say, wait a minute. I got a little bit more to lose than him. You feel me? I'm gonna try to talk this out.
Right.
And he like, I got a little bit more to lose than him. I might. You follow what I'm saying? Right. So black people don't move out on blackness no more. They look at their socio-economic position first, and then they decide what they're going to do as a result of that. There was no upper middle class, right. working class. Everybody was the formerly enslaved class.
Right.
You see that? So the unity was automatically there. But again, if white people did not deny us the opportunity to participate in this society, would we have built Tulsa? I don't know. All of those cities were the result of the fact that we were segregated out of white life. Now, since desegregation has come, we ain't built a black Wall Street nowhere. And then you get black people who say, well, desegregation destroyed us. I understand what you're saying, but what you're also saying is we need white people to separate us again in order for us to do for ourselves. I got a problem with that. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah, people say they need to separate us again. Why does your enemy have to deny you the right to live amongst him in order for you to do right by yourself? Nobody's stopping us from building our own communities right now. You got over 10 cities for sale in this country right now. There's over 10 cities, the whole city for sale. As little as $250,000, $500,000. You got Hell, Michigan for sale. It's cities all over America. Everything's there for you. The post office, the hospital. You got to clean it up, fix it up, build it up. But it's there. If we wanted to be independent, we could. We full of shit. We're not looking for freedom. We're looking for more comfortability under oppression. Follow me?
Right.
I don't mind white people being in charge. I just want to be more comfortable. As long as you give me a few more niceties, you can keep on running the country. I don't care. We not serious. We haven't, look, it's been 57 years since Dr. King. We haven't had a significant, sustained, protracted movement for change in this country since Dr. King. 57 years. We are not serious. Think about that. Black people don't want to be free. Some of us do. Most of us don't. We don't want the responsibility of freedom. What if the white man came to Fort Lauderdale right now and said, listen, y'all, I'm tired of y'all complaining about white supremacy. We leaving Fort Lauderdale. It's y'all's. And we ain't helping you do nothing, but everything is here. Black folks will go get them white folks and tell them to come back. We ain't trying to run them hospitals. We ain't trying to run that school system. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. We don't want the responsibility for all the single moms, the homeless people. We don't want that. We're too selfish. We're interested in ourselves. Not everybody, but a lot of us. And that's why I'm starting with the school, because you got to change the way we think collectively. The collective consciousness has to shift, and that can only be done with education. Our most progressive time since the great empires of Africa was 1800 to 1899. The 19th century, 1800 to 1899 was the greatest century for black people since the fall of the great African empires. We did more of that century than any other time during these 400 or 500 years. Shaka Zulu, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Elijah Muhammad, Haitian Revolution. You follow what I'm saying? Look at all your great leaders and events. Most of them was between 1800 and 1899. Leaders were born during that time. We got out of slavery during that time. Right. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. That was the greatest, and I mean globally too. Whether you go to Africa, whether you go to the Caribbean, whether you're here in the States, from 1800 to 1899, that was our greatest period. And then after that, we began to wane off. Because the more we got acclimated to white society, white consciousness, the more we started losing ourselves. And I'm going to be honest with you. When we talk about desegregation, black people keep talking about put us back in segregation, right? Because deseg hurt us. And nobody forced you to desegregate, by the way. All the government did was remove the barriers to access. They desegregated. They never integrated. Do you feel me?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
They said you can go to the white hospital. They didn't make you go to the white hospital. We gave up the black hospital. We gave up the black schools. We gave up the black supermarkets. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
The white man did not force you. He simply removed the barriers to access. We voluntarily gave up what we had. It's the mindset. It's the mindset. Change it, and you got to do that with the children.
What do they say about, like, it's not let them eat cake, but it's like give them sports. What is it? It's like let them have the things. And they'll forget about the macro.
The sports and entertainment hurt us a lot too. And I'm going to tell you why. If we didn't have as many athletes and entertainers as we do now, the racism would be more obvious. The athletes and entertainers are the argument that the white man uses to say, we're not keeping you down. You follow me?
Because we let you.
You have a billionaire. You have a billionaire. You have a millionaire. But what they not focusing on, all these rich blacks, the celebrities and the entertainers, those are not high opportunity careers. Do you follow what I'm saying? Yeah. If I want to be a doctor, all I got to do is study and pass the test. If I want to be a basketball player, it's more than just talent. You follow what I'm saying? I got to be at the right place at the right time, impress the right person. You see what I'm saying?
Genetic predisposition.
You have a greater chance of being struck by lightning than becoming a multi-million-dollar athlete or entertainer. So you can't hold that up and say everybody could be a Jay-Z, Tyler Perry, LeBron James. No, they can't.
Right.
No, they can't. That's not realistic. You're not going to eliminate poverty by telling people to go and try to be a LeBron, a Tyler Perry, or a Jay-Z. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But they'll use them as examples of black progress, while at the same time not pointing out the fact that these are very difficult industries to break into.
Yeah.
Facts.
And by the way, we no longer have an academic gatekeeping elite. The Negro aristocracy is no longer dominated by academicians. 50 years ago, it was the presidents of the universities. It was the politicians. It was the preachers. They ran the show. They were the black bourgeoisie. They don't hold no weight no more. What scholar you know college students are listening to find out how they're going to think on certain political issues? They don't listen to them.
They listen to YouTubers and shit.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about it. What black pastor holds sway over black youth?
None.
What black politician holds sway over black youth? Name an elected official that holds sway over black youth. None of them. So now
Do you think Obama once had that for a bit?
Obama a little bit. There you go. Obama a little bit. But it's over with.
Yeah.
So guess who the new bourgeoisie is? The same people our children look up to. The athletes and the entertainers are the new black bourgeoisie. They are the new gatekeepers. And when America tells them to take a certain position on something, they're going to take it. Because if you notice, most of our athletes and entertainers, they're not revolutionary. You have your David Banner, you have your Killer Mike, you have your T.I. You got a few of them, right? But most of them do not get involved in any radical politics. They are very conservative. You feel me? Because they don't want nothing to mess up that bag.
And even when they do, it's at the height of their success.
Yes. They're all controlled by white folks. They're all controlled by white folks.